Hello and welcome to my Let's Play Medieval 2 Total War. Okay, yes, this is my first Let's Play ever, so please bear with me and do not mock. I may make many stupid blunders and get stuck for words numerous times, but please, this is a live one. I'm not doing the voiceover after the play, I'm doing it as I'm playing, so it may get awkward.
Hello everybody, hey, welcome back once again to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2 with the Fleming Dynasty. Title of this LP, of course, Race for an Empire, because that is my overall goal. We are now kings, Fleming kings. Don the throne, don the crown, sit on the throne of England. Why stop there? Let's go to the next step. Let's become emperors. So that is the goal. When we reach that goal, the LP may finish, may not, depends upon how long it takes. But that is what I'm striving for. Forge this empire, the Empire of Britannia. Wow. The first season of this game started in January 2013. Last year, of course. Finished in May, I think. And we're now April 2014, which means it's 11 months since I last finished the first season. And up until this point, through those 11 months, I haven't actually played vanilla CK2 for any length of time, so I'm completely rusty as hell. So I'm going to be learning some old things, learning some new things as well, because there has been a DLC or two since I last played this. And thankfully, even with the release of this new Rajas of India, I think it's called DLC, where it's messed up the game saves, I could roll the game back through a beta patch, which means I can still play the old saves, thankfully. So anybody that gave me any tips about how to do that, thank you so much. So we can still carry on with the Flemings, despite the new DLC, which is, of course, great stuff. So here we are. Let's bring up the Fleming Dynasty, shall we? Oh, the excitement! I've been so looking forward to starting this up again, and I'm sure some of you have as well. But I hate to disappoint you, but I may do, because this first session is not going to be a gameplay session. It's an introductory session, looking back at where we left off and what we have to consider for the early stages of this campaign. Also, despite that, it's also going to be a relatively short-ish. I'm looking for about 20 minutes, which means we can't go over anything in any great detail, because if we were to do that, we could be here for 2 hours, because there is so much depth to this game, as you well know, that we could look into family members until they're blue in the face. So I'm going to try and keep it succinct and give you a bit of a flavour as where we left off and what we're going to be doing in the early stages. So let's go and see where we are, starting with the man himself, King Bohemond of England, aged 53, the first Fleming king, greatly assisted by his father, George II of Normandy. His stats aren't marvellous, as you can see here. His traits ain't much better. Craven, paranoid, lisp, and stressed. Running a kingdom is obviously not an easy task, especially for a man who relied on his father so heavily and now finds himself in the mire. But he has a job to do, and as quickly as the Flemings rose to power, they can just as quickly topple off and the crown can fall off the damn head, so we've got to make sure that he stays there, so he's got to get his stuff in order. And we'll start with the vassals. Some like him, the vast majority do not. And there's one reason for that. Partly because of his bad stats, more I would imagine, bad traits. And he's a spoiled brat as well, but that's another thing. Mainly, I think, the issue we have here is he has too many duchy titles. Too many held duchies minus 50, as you can see to the negative debuff there, to the relationships. And that is because his father's just died, and therefore all Fleming land has come to Bohemond. That includes Duchy of Munster, Duchy of Deheubarth, Duchy of Cornwall, Duchy of Brittany, Duchy of Normandy, Duchy of Flanders. I mean, how many duchies do you need? Obviously, as a king, I think you can only have 2, or is it even maybe 1? Somebody might have to re-enlighten me with that one. But whatever it might be, one thing is certain. At the start of this campaign proper, we are going to have to ascertain which duchy or duchies this man is going to keep. Because he can't keep them all. Too many negative penalties. So, is he going to keep the homelands? Cornwall? Is he going to keep the larger holdings, such as the mighty Brittany, that was acquired due to the brilliance of one Earl Mitrofan? Is he going to keep the powerhouse of Normandy? Flanders, I think, is off the cards because, well, it's falling into the clutches of the Holy Roman Empire and it's more trouble than it's worth, so that can just instantly disappear. But there are still others to choose from. Which ones is he going to choose? You can, of course, give me your thoughts. I'm sure King Bohemond has his as well. So that's one decision we're going to have to make straight away. Also, counties as well. We have too many counties. The domain size is too big. Therefore, we're going to have to consider that as well. Wow, so many things to consider, eh? But once we do give away our duchies and we do reduce that negative relationship bonus because of that, these stats will steadily start to increase and we will have better relationships. And then we'll have to start thinking about who to get rid of and things like that. But anyway, so that's where we stand with the relationship of the vassals. Of course, we can look at the close family of the king. We can do that as we look at the family tree, in fact. We'll do that at the end, I suppose. On the campaign map then, as you can see, we are at war. This is another pressing matter that we need to consider first of all. And that pressing matter is the fact that the Northumbrians are pressing Prince Godfrey's claim on our throne. And a few people have joined the party. We are winning, but we haven't won. We have to ensure that this fails and that those responsible are duly punished. We can recruit some troops. We're not got many left at our disposal. We already have raised our personal levy as much as we can. Vassal levies, we haven't got much left, so we may have to look to mercenaries to assist us or reposition what troops we have and use them more tactically. We have some in the north here, some over here, some here. We need to get them in order and we need to place them and get them working better. So that is also another major pressing issue. So what we're going to do to finish off is we're just going to go through the various situations, the various tabs up here. The Chancellor spot is free and available. I think I have an idea who might be appointed there. Mitrofan, for instance. We have a decent Marshal. Our son is Steward. A Spymaster with a very good intrigue. Doesn't like us, but again, if we give away duchies, that might change. And the Court Chaplain is decent enough. So I think the court situation here, the council situation, is pretty decent. Laws of England, the royal laws, agnatic primogeniture, males only, eldest male in particular. We are trying to press the medium crown authority law to get a bit more stability in the land, currently limited, and investiture is papal. These, we'll focus on these once we are able to change them. We also do have say on other laws due to some of our holdings, such as Flanders for the Holy Romans and also Normandy and I think Normandy for France. So we do have some say in some of their laws, but we're not bothered about that right now. Technology has changed significantly since I last left off. This is completely new to me, and I think it's based now upon you gather or accumulate points based on your state stats or something like that, and you accumulate points, and once you get enough points you can spend them in various things to progress the bar quicker. Not quite sure. Leave me a comment if you know. I will also do my own reading. So that's the situation with technology. Intrigue, we have a few new intrigues due to some of the new DLCs and things, but all in all, it's going to be very similar. We have some people in prison, got Zello and Torf for killing George, Bohemon's older brother, and a couple more people, for which reasons I cannot remember. But they're going to just sit there and rot for now. There is a hell of a lot of plots that we'll have to go through at some point and get those stopped. But since I last played this game, there is a new feature that we can auto stop plots. So we could probably use that to get ourselves out of the mire and not have to worry so much about manually doing it all the time. So that's nice, that's quite handy. Factions as well, keep our eye on that. Most of them are pretty paltry at the moment in terms of their strength, so we don't have to be overly concerned, but it's worth keeping an eye on. A couple of claims for England and an independence request or claim or, idea. We'll keep an eye on those. And finally, religion. Yes, religion is slightly changed because we have the Sons of Abraham DLC, thanks to King Lemon who gifted that to me. Much appreciated. And we have now a College of Cardinals. All of this, again, is new to me. Never seen it before, never used it in any of my campaigns, and therefore don't know how it works. More reading required, and of course, if you're able to summarise it in a nice, succinct manner that is easy to digest, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll take it into consideration. No Cardinals now, because it's an old save with a new DLC, and therefore I imagine that this will fill up in due course. And we can probably use this at some point to our own gain, somewhere along the lines. So that's the situation as it stands. Wars, vassals, and things like that. So I suppose we'll just go over across the top here. We have weak claims that can be pressed left, right and centre due to various people in our court and things like that. Not interested right now. We have more pressing issues. We can call the King of Castile to our aid in this situation, should we require it. We'll assess it and see how it goes first. Nice to know we have some backup if we do need it. Of course, council position open. We can create the Kingdom of Brittany, should we want to do so. Need to get a bit more piety first. And we can also create the Kingdom of Wales. The more kingdoms the better, I think, is the order of the day here. King of England, why stop there? King of England, Brittany and Wales? Rolls off the tongue far better. So that's worth considering. We know our domain size is too big. We have an unlanded son, and Earl Antoine of Vexin can be imprisoned, and he doesn't like us, so that might be worth considering. And the rest of them aren't particularly useful to us. I'm not interested in Ghent because, as I say, the Holy Romans are making big claims on this place, so we'll just leave them be. So to finish up then, a quick look at the dynasty tree. I don't intend to go over this with a fine tooth comb. It's going to be far too laborious, unfortunately. The dynasty is grown massively, 119 members. It's far too much to go over, but here he is, the founding father, Duke George I of Cornwall. None of this Deo Bath nonsense. And he had many a child he had. Many children he bore, because he was a bit of a player, was old Georgie. Eldest son Ambrose, William, died pretty young, but had William the Slow, and then had Gerard currently, who is Earl of a couple of places. So not too bad, not too shabby. Some daughters who married and went away. Bella, the bastard, who had some children over there somewhere. We have Zachariah there, naughty man, who I'm sure we banished at some point due to his meddling ways. He had a few children. Sylvester, Earl of Thormond, and his children are all daughters. Strange. And he has got a couple of brothers, one dead, one alive, who is steward and regent of Somerset. And a daughter there as well. So Zachariah, there he is. Arthur, over in Meissen, had his own children. Over there. Cecilia, daughter Henry, he was pretty decent actually. Former Count of Ormond. He had a child, Henry, Count of Ormond. He had a child, Henry again, died. Lots of Henrys, all dying. And then Philip, current Earl of Ormond. Doesn't like me. And he has some children too, who will inherit the Ormond as well. So they're all self-sufficient. And got Zello the bastard in prison. Sons, all de Montgomerys. Nothing doing there. So that was the line as it stands from the second generation. But this was the main line. Ambrose married Hermione. Okay, where was I? Sorry about that, was interrupted there. So Ambrose, yes, Ambrose married Duchess Hermione, the ill ruler of Normandy. Yes, after her brother tragically was killed. Strange how these things happen, isn't it? Anyway, together they had George, the gluttonous, drunkard man, George the First of Normandy, great ruler, best ruler as you voted, greatest Fleming ruler, as he was currently. That could change with rulers present and future. You never know. Anyway, they had together the mighty George. They had a younger son as well, whose children have done well for themselves, really. Abelard, having Abelard Jr., who's now Earl of Desmond, Rainulf, who is Earl of Gwent, and Ildebrando, who is Earl of Cornier. And of course, they are branching out further, having their own children who will inherit their titles eventually in due course. Lots of sons this one has. Potential rulers future of various counties and duchies, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was his line. But then we go down to this man's line. The mighty George, of course. We know all about him and his escapades. George, his eldest son, died because of his lack of ability to stop plots, and that plot was set up initially, I think, by Torf, joined by Bohemond and Zello, which is why they find themselves currently in prison, to have him killed. He died in suspicious circumstances. The finger could never be pointed, but the suspicion was enough. He's profited from that because he is now king, rather than him. He did have a couple of daughters, one of which is actually Countess of Devenne. But Torf is languishing in prison and his eldest son is dead, so he does have one more son, but can the son of a traitor be trusted? In fact, now that Bohemond is king, he and he were in cahoots. Will he release him? Interesting thought. Same with Gotzello. Plotters together, plotters unite. Out of the prison. Feel free to do as you wish. We'll have to see if that's how he thinks. Richard, his younger brother, Earl of Glamorgan, he has some children too, some of which are not landed and may prove to be useful. Toby, half-brother, half-brothers. Will they be given lands and titles? Half-brothers, maybe not. He, of course, has his own children. Thurston, Prince Thurston, heir to the throne of England, Steward and Earl of Evero. Decent stats as well. Decent stats. If you look at his steward, of course, stewardship, diplomacy, maybe not quite so decent. So we'll have to see how he fares as king, if he makes it that far. He is young. The king is old. He may have a decent amount of time to rule and become a great ruler, to follow Fleming's past. He's got a daughter at the minute, so he's, I'm sure, hoping for a son to pass down the titles to, because of course it is male, agnatic primogeniture for the Kingdom of England. And of course Bohemond, again, he's got Bohemond Jr. as a son, but he has no children and he hates his father. Nice. So that is the situation with the family tree, the dynasty as a whole. Whistle-stop tour, of course. Emmeline has a crown. She's the Queen of Castile, which is why we have that alliance with the King of Castile, who could be our ally. That is where that alliance has come from. A marriage with my daughter. Very handy. So there you go. That is House Fleming. That is George Bohemond. You see, it's only the first part of this new LP, and I'm already getting names confused. That is where the situation stands in terms of Bohemond and his immediate and not so immediate family members. Just want to finish off by saying that in the first CK2 LP, It was your comments and your feedback and your suggestions, not only about the game mechanics and how I could do things more effectively, efficiently and swiftly and things like that, but also your campaign strategy and advice. It was through those comments that you made that I learned so much about the game, and I particularly enjoyed reading them, because as I say, I learned so much about the game, more so than any playthrough that I've watched, more so than even playing the game myself. Some of your your comments and feedback was invaluable to assist me in picking up a lot of the game's intricacies that had slipped me by in the past. And therefore, given the fact that I'm rusty at the game again and there's some new features introduced in some of the DLCs and patches, I'm going to be looking to you once again to make similar posts, similar comments, similar advice and feedback, because I relish reading it. It helps me greatly, and I look forward to what you put, and hope to act upon it where possible to assist in furthering the Fleming dynasty. So feel free in any comments page of any video throughout this LP to speak your mind and give me advice. No matter how small it might seem, it could assist greatly. And there will also be a forum thread created in the forum, the link of which will be in the description of this video. If you want to post it in a fuller format, rather than in the comments page of a video, then you can visit that thread and post it there as well. And I will look forward to reading what you have to say about the campaign and any advice you may have. As with the previous rendition, I will be using characters' traits and stats to assist in my decision making. Keeps the game fresh, I feel, gives us a bit more to play with in terms of RP and creating a story. That's what I'm all about, and let's see if any more pivotal, memorable and great characters like in the first season come to the fore and live long in our memories. For either good or bad reasons. The first Fleming king to lose it all, eh? That would be quite memorable, but not quite what I was after. Anyway, I'm hoping this video is going to come in not too long, because I know you don't want to see me talking about things for 20 minutes and you just want to jump into the action. So, yeah, this is the intro video. Of course, I haven't gone through everything in extremely minor and fine detail. If you want to make greater plans and do your own digging into the campaign itself to come up with more detailed advice, the game save will be included in the link, in the description of this video as well. So should you want to load it up into your own game to assist you in picturing, visualizing the campaign better, taking a look at the characters in more detail, etc, etc, you can do that as well. Most of you will probably have this game by now that are watching this, because it's been out for some time and it's a fan favourite. Very well done. So I think I've talked for long enough. Let the festivities commence. The campaign is now officially up and running, and in the next part, in the next couple of days or so, the gameplay will start and we will see just which way the Flemings go. On the rise or on the decline? We're soon going to find out. So join me next time for that. See you soon.